Hey folks, it's Julius, the real estate guy. Today we're going to be talking about real estate and two of the main things when you first think about real estate is, are you going to be a renter or are you going to be a homeowner? And today we're going to talk about some of the reasons why we choose to rent a home instead of purchasing a home. A lot of times it has to do with timing. Is it the right time to purchase a home right now? Um, do you have enough money for a down payment? Is your credit good enough to qualify for a loan to purchase a home? Do you know what area or what community or what city you want to live in? These are questions you have to ask yourself when it comes to real estate and when it comes to buying your first home or buying a home in general. And so there's two type of um, things you want to think about when it comes to real estate. Am I going to rent a home for a while? Why am I renting this home? Or am I ready to purchase a home? And why am I going to purchase this home? And a lot of times it deals with timing, where you are in your life, if you're ready to have a family or if you're not, or, if you like living in the city, it might be cheaper to rent a place so you can live that city lifestyle. Or maybe you might be ready to settle in the suburbs and you might find some place you want to rent in that area for a little while so you could get a good feel of that community. These are a lot of questions you ask yourself when it comes to purchasing home. Another reason why a lot of people purchase homes are, to build the equity is one of the main reasons why, a lot of homeowners purchase a home because over time, the equity in your home can appreciate. And so maybe you buy a home at $200,000, for example, and maybe 10 years from now, your home is worth $250,000 and it has appreciated. And a lot of times, homeowners, that's one of the reasons they purchase a home besides the location and where their job's located or they're about to start a family. These are some of the big reasons, one of the main reasons people purchase a home or become a homeowner. Probably if you go back, one of the major factors prior to the financial crisis of 2008, this is why people purchased their home because they were able to build up equity in their home. And it was another form of an investment. And like any investment, there a lot of times the best investment or the best way to look at is the best way to look at an investment is by looking at it as a long-term investment plan and being in your home for 10 15 years, even though in today's world normally people live in their homes anywhere from 3 to 5 years on average. That's a normal person. Maybe it might be due to job or might be due to their family growing in their first 3 to 5 years in their first home that they purchased. Maybe it was just a husband and wife or somebody that was single. Within those 3 or 5 years, somebody may get married, they might have a few kids, and they feel it's time to buy a bigger home. And so, what ends up happening is that's where that 3 to 5 year average comes into effect, and they end up moving into a larger home, or maybe they may be moving due to a job. There's a lot of different scenarios, but those are some of the main reasons why today's average homeowner stays in their home 3 to 5 years. But at the end of the day, it's like any investment. The longer you're in it, if you're in it for the long haul and not the short appreciation factor and trying to make a lot of money in a short amount of time, that's more timing and trying to find the right time to get in and the right time to get out. And sometimes you get lucky. You pick the right time to get into a home, where the market is and the timing. Like, right now is probably right in the middle of the road time as far as if you look at a circle and you go from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock. We may be at 6 o'clock right now as far as the cycle and the time of where the real estate market is today. Or we might be probably around 7 or 8 o'clock, and it's kind of going upwards, appreciating compared to in 2008 when we had the financial crisis and everything crashed, and we were on the downswing of 12 o'clock, heading down to 6 o'clock, and the appreciation homes are going down, and people are losing a lot of money, and you know REO sales, REO, the banks took your property, or bankruptcy or foreclosure or short sales, and you got yourself into some loans when you thought your home was going to continue to appreciate over the next 5 years, and the economy went south. And so these are a lot of things to think about when it comes to buying a home. What time is it? Is it a good time right now? Are the values really high? So these are things you really want to pay attention to, and you don't want to buy at the peak of the market a lot of times, but sometimes that's unforeseen. Sometimes if you have the money and it's the timing and everything's going right for you, you have enough money in the bank to purchase a home. Just pay attention to where the market's at. And I think that's a big part of it, is just kind of understanding the market and where the market is when you decide to purchase a home. But going back to reasons to rent and why people rent today, sometimes it's the flexibility. Renting allows you to move into a particular city and to get to know the city, get a feel of the community, see if you like it, you know. And that's the beauty of renting, is you can move around. Maybe you don't have to be locked into one job. You might be in a career where you're moving around to different jobs every year, and renting might be an option for you right now. That's why flexibility is a reason why a lot of people rent today, is because you're flexible to move wherever you want to go, wherever your job takes you. You're flexible to move into different cities that you might like. There might be 3 cities in your area, and you can't make up your mind, and maybe 6 months you'll rent an apartment or a home in this particular area and see what the school's like, what the community's like, and if it's a fit for you. And if it doesn't fit for you, you have the flexibility to move out of that area, rent someplace else, and just find the area that works for you, and maybe the job that works for you. And then once you find this, you may decide to purchase a home at that time. And that's a good way of looking at reasons why people rent. Another reason is, maybe you're renting right now because the timing of purchasing a home is not good for you. Maybe you're one of those, like me. Within the last 5 years, you've gone through some hardships. Might have lost your home, which I did, and you're trying to fix your credit, and it's just not right time for you right now to purchase a home because your credit's not very good. Maybe you don't have the down payment, and these are things that a lot of people today who are renting is issues they have to deal with. But the beauty of that is, like I say, the financial crash of 2008, or the crisis, is when the bubble burst in 2008. Not only was I in this situation, but there was a lot of people in this similar situation. And so now it's been about 7 years, and a lot of people had the opportunity to fix their credit. A lot of people have been able to save some money to put a down payment on a home. And during this whole time, they've been renting. So, that gave them the ability to fix their credit, save some money, and maybe right now is a good time, or yeah, basically right now may be a good time for them to purchase a home. Once again, it's all about timing, and so that's another reason why maybe people are deciding to rent at this time. Um, Another big reason people may think renting is a really nice situation is because when people own their homes, when you own your home, have to you have to fix all the things that break in your home. Maybe your plumbing breaks, your sewer breaks, or your water pipes break within the walls, or your water heater goes out, or your HVAC system, air conditioning, heaters go out, and this is something you have to fix. Another reason why people may like the conveniences of renting is they don't have to really deal with these issues. The landlord has to deal with these issues, and sometimes that can be a nice advantage, especially when you're going through some hard times. So when you're renting, you don't really have to deal with the issues of home ownership as far as fixing um, broken items in the home. You just call the landlord and you say, "Hey, the toilet's not working properly," or my shower is dripping, and instead of you having to pay the plumber to come out to fix it, the landlord has to pay the plumber to come out to fix it, which is a real life situation, and it's kind of convenient. Like I said, I'm a renter, and I remember when I was a homeowner at one time, and say my roof, we had a heavy rain, heavy storms, and I bought the home and I wasn't aware until the first rainy season, and then my roof started to leak, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? I just bought this home, and now I have to pay for somebody to climb up on the roof, go assess the situations. Then I have to pay somebody to fix the roof, an unexpected bill that I wasn't planning on having. And that's why I say sometimes home ownership, it never ends as far as costs and maintenance and upkeeping your home, because sometimes, things just happen that you're not ready for. And that's the beauty of renting, is like when you have these situations that happen, you actually just call the landlord and say, hey, I got broken tiles on my roof, or I got a leak, or, my toilet's broken. Can you send somebody out? And guess what? They have to send somebody out. And on top of that, they pay the bill. So, that's some of the beauties of being a renter. And, like I said, once again, renting versus purchasing a home, there's a number of different ways to look at it. Like I said, renting, those are some of the conveniences of being a renter. And, sometimes you got to look at, what is the differences between renting and purchasing a home. What can you gain as a renter? Really, as a renter, sometimes I think of it as like, you're paying somebody else's mortgage, or, your money is just going to their mortgage and you're getting nothing out of it. Whereas if you're a homeowner, if you're paying $1,500 a month, $1,600 a month, at least you're paying the interest on your loan, but you're still getting some appreciation in the home, and you may get some value out of it if you sell it 10 years from now. So your money's just not being thrown away. That's one way of looking at it, but there's a two ways of looking at that also. Say if maybe you have a huge amount, maybe $100,000 saved, and today's market, how much it is to purchase a home might be $500,000. And if you went out in today's market to rent a home for $1,400, and that similar home, if you purchase it, would cost you $1,800 plus insurance, you know, the various things that come with purchasing a home, and the bill. And say maybe if you put your $100,000 in a CD and you're saving money and you're getting some appreciation that way, 2, 3, 4%, whatever it is, and you're gaining some money there. And due to the price of the home or the area that you want to live in, the homes are fairly high, and so your mortgage is going to be high. And sometimes for what you can pay for the mortgage and what you're getting out of the home and the value, maybe it's better to put your money in a CD and then rent a home. And, it won't be costing you as much. I know the numbers, trying to talk about it, is kind of maybe doesn't make sense. But if you were able to break it down and take a look at it, I mean, I was reading something recently on Khan Academy, and they talked about, mortgage, purchasing a home versus renting a home, and he broke it down pretty interestingly, but his scenario is like if you're trying to buy $1 million home and you had $250,000 in the savings, is it more feasible to rent a home for $3,500 compared to if you had to pay $4,000 and you're having money in a CD that was appreciating in today's market where the prices are. And if you put that $250,000 into your $1 million home that you're trying to purchase, you're actually losing money. So there's different things to look at. I mean, different scenarios. I from what I see and my experience in the market, I see some things that are a little different. Like if you're looking to purchase in the median market, And median market is anywhere from probably 200 to $250,000 where I live, which is Northern California. And there's some decent cities and towns around that. If you purchase a home in that area, sometimes it makes sense. The numbers make sense compared to if you're renting. But once again, it's timing. You got to look for a home that hasn't been, it's not at the peak of the market as far as the pricing in the area you want to live in. You're trying to look for a home that has some built-in equity. Maybe you're purchasing a little bit lower than what the highest home in that particular area is selling for. So once you purchase a home, there's some built-in equity. Maybe you're gonna do some sweat equity, and through your sweat equity, within 2 to 3 years, now your home's worth what the highest home in that area was selling for. And then say you sit on that for a while. It's like anything else. Prices continue to go up, but there's a bubble all the time, and sometimes it's gonna burst. And but if you're in it for the long haul and not for the quick appreciation, it's like the stock market, I guess. If it's kind of a gamble if you're in for the short term, 5 to 10 years. But if you're in it for 20 years, you know, it's consistently gonna go up. 1 to 2%. There's gonna be the ebb and flows where the market goes up and it goes down, it goes up and it goes down. But over the long period of time, it's gonna go kind of like this instead of plateauing or going down. So you're thinking of the market slightly going up over the next 20 years and your home appreciating. So that's another way of looking at home ownership. And the next time we sit down with this vlog, we'll talk about and go into a little bit more deals about home ownership. And today I just wanted to give you some of the reasons why you might decide to rent a home instead of purchasing a home. You know, and once again, timing's everything. Maybe your job situation is not right, and it's a better time to rent right now. Maybe your credit situation isn't very good and you're working on that. Maybe you're coming off of a difficult time, or something happened in your life and it's just not a good time to purchase a home. And hey, I totally understand that. These things happen, and purchasing a home is not for everybody. But at the end of the day, if you're looking to make an investment and you have some money, I think you can't go wrong as long as you do your homework and you find the areas that you want to live in. And once again, it's all about trying to find the city and town you want to live in that fits for you or your family. These are a lot of things to look at. So it's not anything that's set in stone. There's a lot of different intangibles to look at when it comes to renting a home, or when it comes to home ownership. But today I just wanted to talk about why we rent homes sometimes. And you know when we come back to the next vlog, I want to talk a little bit more about why it may be a good time to purchase a home, or why buying home ownership has some value to it. But once again, like I said, you want to look. It depends on how you look at it. If you're looking at getting in it 3 to 5 years, there's a lot of homework you have to do. Make sure you don't lose money, and that's the object of anything. You want to try and get something for good value, and hopefully by the time you sell it, you get something out of it, I guess. When it comes to home ownership, that's the way I look at it. And through my experiences, I see some of these things going on, and I'd be glad to share. I'm looking forward to sharing some of these examples with you. And this is why I think this is going to be a really interesting conversation, talking about real estate. And today we're just talking about renting versus buying. And future vlogs we're going to be talking about all different things, from exteriors of the homes, yacht landscaping, pools, all these things are going to be really cool, interesting topics. And I'm looking forward to talking about it, sharing with you some of my experiences, being that I'm a real estate appraiser out there and I get to see all this stuff when I'm out there in the field. And through my analysis and different things, and some of the things I've learned through my 9 years of being in the real estate business. So once again, I just want to say thank you for coming out and watching the video. I love sharing this information with you folks. It's just through my experiences. Hopefully you can learn something from this. you know Not only the people who are in the similar situation as me, when we went through a hard time in 2008 and the market crashed, the economy went south, and it affected a lot of people, and I was one of them. I didn't make the best decisions prior to that, But at the same time, I didn't really have anybody to teach me these life lessons. I had to go through these life lessons, and I made some mistakes. And that's what I want to tell you guys is that's not the end of the world. You know, the great thing and the beauty about living life is making mistakes and learning from them, and then what we do after that. And so, that's where I say right now I'm hungry. I can't wait till I get my next chance, and because I've made mistakes already, I know the pitfalls, I know what not to do, and now when I get my next opportunity to purchase a home and become a homeowner, I know exactly what I'm looking for. When I first bought my first home, I knew nothing. I was a complete no brainer. No, knew nothing about real estate, knew nothing about financing. And that's the thing. It's one of the biggest investments you make in your life, one of the largest purchases you make in life that, can span over 30 years. So you definitely want to make sure you know something about real estate, finance before you make one of the biggest decisions in your lifetime. And, at the end of the day, that's what this vlog's about, sharing my experiences, sharing some of my mistakes. And you know what? Eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to share some of my successes and some of the things I've learned with you. And maybe you can take that and make sure you don't make the same mistakes I make. With that being said, I look forward to talking to you guys in the next vlog. You guys have a great day, and thank you for tuning in to Julius the Real Estate Guy. We'll see you next in a couple of days. Take it easy. Have a great day.